Hey everyone, it's Chris here with Inside Brew Lab, and you are listening to the Coffee Shop Podcast. And today, what we're going to be talking about is negative reviews. So, why do people give negative reviews, and how, honestly, just to handle them and mitigate them and really try to, set yourself up for success? So, let's go ahead and dig in. All right. So, the first obvious answer, from a negative review is your product sucks, your service sucks, and their experience as customers was simply not good. Okay. And, the best way, honestly, to handle negative reviews is to do your best by giving a great experience first, right? You want to be able to mitigate that issue and not even get there in the first place. But look, honestly, you're going to have negative reviews. It's just the nature of the beast. However, again, there are ways you can set yourself up for success to try to mitigate these potentially negative reviews. So, one of the main things that I think is so crucial and so important is honestly the culture of your coffee shop. It has a lot to do with the experience of the customer. And, if your employees are not set up for success because of, training or knowledge or honestly just a great work environment, then they are more inept to give a great experience. So let's kind of take a step back, right? Let's unpack this. So where does experience start? So do you feel like it starts from the moment they walk in? Like, probably not, right? Although it plays a huge role in the overall experience, we want to go all the way back to, how does this customer actually, get to you? How do they know about your coffee shop? Or like, did they go to Google Maps? Did they go, just search you on Google, on Bing? Did they hear about you from a friend or a family member? Like, those are the things that you need to know first, right? So get yourself established on Google Maps, get yourself established on Bing, and make sure that you are available and they can easily, you're easily accessible online. And then when they go to your website, is it clean? Is it professional? Or is it, just littered with a bunch of junk, right? Make sure it's clean and professional. Is it really easy to navigate? Is it easy to order online? Like, do they have a clear understanding of what kind of coffee shop you are? Like, are you a fun and exciting, coffee shop that's like third wave style, really specialty, you got some music going and people are just having a good time? Or are you a low key type of coffee shop that people only want to go there so they can have peace and quiet to study, right? There's no right or wrong. It really just depends on what type of coffee shop that you are. So really just making sure that you set that expectation. So, and then also, are you aesthetically pleasing? Right, from the moment they walk up to your building, right, or pull into the parking lot, is there good signage? Does your building look nice? Does it match the overall brand of what you want people to perceive your coffee shop as? Those are crucial, right? If they're coming to, if your brand is very bright and welcoming online, and then they go to your coffee shop and it's like a dungeon, like they don't even know if they're in the right place. So make sure that those two match. That's very, very important. And how about the parking lot, right? The parking lot, that plays a huge role. Is there enough parking? Is it clean? Is there no trash? Is there no cigarette butts all over the floor? Like those things right there, that's experience from a moment that they walk through that parking lot into your front doors. So as you can tell, there is so much that you can do to really give your customer every opportunity to honestly really understand who you are as a coffee shop and who you serve. So you are really just setting the expectation, right? So now when they walk in, the first thing that you should always do is acknowledge them, their presence, right? Say hi. That's probably the most important thing because nobody wants to walk into a coffee shop and just go unnoticed. Right? We want to make sure that we are acknowledged and that we're welcomed in your coffee shop, right? Especially if you're a really small coffee shop and you have like a 500 square foot footprint and customers literally from door to your face in a second, right? Acknowledge them. That is huge, absolutely huge, right? So now that they're in front of you, they're going for their order. Some of the things that you can ask are, have you been here before? Are you new? Let me know if there's anything that I can recommend, right? And then you start going through that conversation of, okay, I've never been to, your coffee shop. I don't know what third wave is. I don't know what specialty coffee is, but I do want to order yada yada yada. Right? Have empathy. So if it's a coffee that, maybe they would typically order at Starbucks, and you don't typically have it because you're a third wave coffee shop. So let's kind of, take it as a a macchiato, right? The biggest, one of the biggest coffees that are, there's so much, you know, I guess you could say, talk about what a real macchiato is. And we all know what a real macchiato is, right? It's that short, really strong drink with a dollop of, steamed milk on top. So that's what a macchiato is. But if you were to give this customer a macchiato based on the macchiatos that they've been having at Starbucks, well, you're just setting yourself up for success. So really have empathy when you talk to your customers, especially if you're a different style coffee shop, and really ask, like, okay, so are you looking for, that really short, small, really strong drink, or are you looking for something a little taller, and a little bit sweeter? Right? Have empathy with your customers. So now that once they've gone through this order, right, they are expecting what they actually want. All right. Now, the next thing that you want to do is you always want to ask for their name. Name is huge. Like anytime you go anywhere, if somebody says your name, you're immediately going to you're just going to pay more attention to this person, right? You're going to notice those details. Set the expectation for timing if you can, if it's possible. Like let them know, all right, I have a few more customers ahead of you, but I'm going to get to your drink as soon as I can, all right? And let's say for some reason you are taking longer than expected, then reach out to that customer and say, hey, I'm working on your drink right now, just to let you know, I haven't forgot about you. I'm working on it right now for you. So that again sets the expectation and lets them know, like, hey, you care about their product and you care about their time and you're trying to do the best that you can, right? Again, always goes back to really just setting the expectation, right? And try to make conversation if possible, because that's really what helps kind of, makes their time go a little bit faster in their head, right? And then finally you give them the great product that they deserve. So, and again, if they're trying something new, then let them know, hey, if this isn't something that you were looking for because I recommended it, just let me know and I'd be happy to make you a new drink, right? That right there shows them that you actually care about what they're actually drinking. So now those customers, they've had a great experience from the moment they looked you up to the moment that they walk through your doors. And that's what it means to give a great experience. So let's say all that you did all of this, right? And they still, for some reason, posted a negative review, and the review states that the product was great, the environment was great, but honestly, the barista was just a little too nosy, right? So that's something that's kind of, it's really, it's in your control. It really is. And when you think about that, what's your first instinct when you see that? You're like, well, defense, right? What are you talking about? We're just trying to be nice. We're just trying to talk to you. We're just trying to engage in conversation, right? Those are the things that you want to stop yourself right there. You don't want to go on defense, because you have to look at it from their point of view. Like, where are they coming from, right? That's one of the biggest things with reviews is people who are unhappy with your service, they want to feel heard, right? And if they're not heard, then it's just going to continue like a poison in your coffee shop and in the later reviews that you're going to get. People are going to see this, right? If you constantly try to defend yourself in a negative review, it's not going to make you look any better, right? It just won't. Now, not everybody's going to look at that review and be like, okay, I'm not coming here, right? Some people, they don't even look at reviews at all. But at the end of the day, it's your job to really mitigate these reviews and really set them up for success. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to read the review and you want to think about it, right? You want to think about, okay, so if I was this customer, how would I feel, right? If I was this customer, I didn't really want to talk to anybody. And, I really just wanted to get in and get out as fast as possible because I'm late for work already. And all of these things are kind of just, piling up. And I just need to get out of there. So, and honestly, having more conversation and being nosy is probably going to irritate them just a little bit, right? So the first thing that you want to do in that post or even in that response is and say, you know what, I totally understand. If I was in your position and I was in a hurry or whatever the case may be, like I wouldn't want to talk to somebody and be like, all right, let's make small talk because I just want to get out, right? I completely understand where you're coming from. And that's something that we can talk to the rest of the team and really understand, you know, what type of conversation should we be having based on the overall experience that we're taking off from the customer, right? What is their vibe throwing off? Like, do we feel like they need to get in and out really quickly, or are they very like communicative with us in that transaction, right? Those are the things that we have to play into, and everybody's going to have a different vibe. Everybody's going to be, you know, different in the way that they talk to you, different in the way that their overall, aura is playing off with you. Like if you were to come at somebody who is constantly like, yeah, I just want a coffee and, this and that, and I just really need to go. Your overall, like, when you come at this customer, it shouldn't be like, hey man, let's take care of you. Let's go ahead and get your coffee. And, what are you doing today? And, have you tried the new steakhouse down the road and blah, blah, blah. Like they're gonna be like, all right, shut up, dude. Like I don't want to talk to you. I just want my coffee and I just want to go. Right? You need to play to the overall vibe, or the overall, what they're giving off as a person. Like what they're actually giving off. Like if they come in and they're like, yeah, they're peppy and they want to talk, and then you want to give that off because you're really just meeting them at their level. But if you're giving them too much and they're at a very, very low level, then they're just going to get pissed off, right? Because they don't want to talk. So you really have to meet them where they're at based off of the level that they're giving off, if that makes sense, right? So again, going back to that review, the first thing that you need to do is you need to understand and you need to accept that, yeah, you could have fixed this in the first place. So the first thing that you should say is, I totally get it. If I was in your position, I understand, right? And what that does for that customer is they feel like they are being heard, right? And being heard is very, very important when somebody is upset. There's no way around that. If you come at somebody with like, hey, this is your fault, not mine, then they're not even going to listen to you and they're just going to post another negative review, or they're going to tell their friends and family members to never go to this coffee shop again. Plain and simple. So your first thing that you need to do is you need to listen and you need to meet them at their level and you need to talk to them in a way that they feel like they are being heard. And then you also have to ask them like, hey, and this is totally optional, but you can say, would it be okay if I reach back out to let you know what we came up together as a team that's going to best help us going forward to give you a better experience next time? And you ask for the permission. And again, this is totally, not recommended. You can do it if you want to. It's really up to you. But asking for permission even further solidifies that they are being heard, like period. So use it, if you choose. It's really going to be up to you, but this has worked wonders for us inside, in person, and it's worked wonders for reviews, in multiple different scenarios, not just coffee shops. It just works because when people are upset, they want to be heard. And if you give them that acknowledgement that they are being heard, and then you ask them you know, for a follow-up, then that just means that you are respecting them even more and giving the time that they deserve to really fix this issue and be better next time. So that right there is, in my opinion, of course, this isn't going to work for everybody else, but in my opinion, this is the best way to handle negative reviews. Again, you can set yourself up for success prior to the negative review and just making sure that their experience from start to finish is good or great. And then if they still give a negative review, then you meet them at their level, you understand them, and then you ask them if you can follow up with them to give them, an idea of how you're going to be better next time. Okay, so again, you were listening to the Coffee Shop Podcast. My name is Chris at Insight Brew Lab, and today we went over negative reviews, how to handle them, how to mitigate them, and really just set yourself up for success, but also set up your customers for success too as well, and really just set that expectations. And, if you have any recommendations or things that you want me to talk about, let me know. Feel free to reach out. You can give us a comment, you can give us a subscribe and a follow and hit that notification bell. That would be awesome. Again, if you need anything, just let me know. Send me an email, Chris at insightbrewlab.com. And thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.